I'm about to show you how I move though. You get the memo. I say,
Hey, keep cooking up that dope, Mike.
I'm like, baby, why you leave me? She said, like, baby, I'ma get a bag and switch it up and watch they say. They don't like my style, they say I'm different, I'm too red. Put my whole up in the song to show you that I care. I'ma call your phone and I'm like, baby, do you care? I will feel the energy that you give me. If you hear my pain, would you still listen to me? Diamonds, they gon' dance and they still glisten on me. She gon' call my phone and I'm like, I don't feel your energy. I'm always gonna think about the thing that you did to me. Every time I...
Yo, it's your boy Smokes YT, aka Silk Man K Milk, man. We back with another video. Now today we are finally doing the linebacker video. Let's go. Alright, we're finna get started. Shout out to Philly Mike, man. He showed some love on a recent diss track, you know. We're finna drop a celebration soon. But look, whoever made that montage, you know. Alright, anyways, this being boy Smokes YT, we out here. Shout out Philly Mike. You know what I'm saying? We out.
Axel.
Trap House Mob.
This is a mellow beat.
We know this linebacker core this year can be very good. Barring injury, this can be a top 3 linebacker core in the league. As I have Demario Davis at the middle linebacker position, Alex Anzalone at the left linebacker position. Who's going to be taking that right spot? We're going to find out today. But you already know the original theme of this channel. We start off with the draft profile. Zach Bond is currently 23 years old. He's 6'3", 240 pounds. He ran a 4.65 at the combine, 0 years of experience. He went to Wisconsin in college. Let's get on to the stats. His college stats: 152 tackles, 30.5 tackle for losses, 15 sacks, and 2 interceptions. And his 2019 stats: 75 tackles, 19 tackle for losses, 12.5 sacks, and 1 interception. Now that's a good resume. Now let's get on to Kiko Alonso. Kiko Alonso is 30 years old. He's 6'3", 238 pounds. He ran a 4.74 at the combine, 7 years of experience. He went to Oregon. Now let's get on to his career history, where he started his career with the Bills, winning Defensive Rookie of the Year with 159 tackles and 4 interceptions. And then he gets traded to the Eagles for LaShawn McCoy and them, having his lowest point in his career with 43 tackles and 2 interceptions. And then getting traded onto the Dolphins, where he had his best years, 588 tackles and 5 interceptions. And then coming to the Saints with 31 tackles and 3 tackle for losses and 1 pass deflections. Let's get on to the next. Next up, we have Nigel Bradham, who is the age of 30. He's 6'2". He weighs 240 pounds. He ran a 4.64 at the combine, 8 years experience. There's a lot of Florida State players on his team, and he went to Florida State. But that's pretty ironic. As he started his career with the Bills, 271 tackles and 1 interception. Even playing with Kiko Alonso, he was on the Bills. Then going to the Eagles, 348 tackles and 2 interceptions, where he had his best years. Now he's coming to the Saints. Let's see what he's going to do. Next up, we have Joe Bachie, who is the age of 22. He's 6'2", 231 pounds. He ran a 4.67 at the combine, 0 years of experience, and he went to Michigan State as his college stats. I'm going to his 2019 stats: 72 tackles, 9.5 tackle for loss, 3.5 sacks, and 1 interception. That's a beast here. Next up, we have Caden Ellis, who is 25 years old. He's 6'3", 238 pounds. He ran a 4.58 at the combine. He has 1 year under his belt, and he went to Idaho. But let's get on to the next. Next up, we have Andrew Dowles, a guy we really do not know about, but he's 27 years old, 6'1", 225 pounds, ran a 4.48 at the combine, 0 year experience in Michigan State. Let's get on to the next. Next up, we have Anthony Chiquillo, who is 27, 6'3", 267 pounds. He ran a 4.79 at the combine, 5 year experience. He went to college in Miami. Let's get on to the next one.
I mean, everything I see in my songs be for real.
First up, we have my man Joe Bachie. Joe Bachie is a guy I think who's going to have a big impact this year, whether on the special teams or on the linebacker court. But the person the NFL comparison I compared to Joe Bachie is none other than Paul Posluszny. Paul Posluszny was a hard hitter at his time in Jacksonville. He shoot through gaps. He does not have the best coverage ability as Paul Posluszki, but the way he tackles, the way he shoots through gaps, that's the best comparison I can give him. Next up, I have Kiko Alonso. A lot of people sleep on because this man was literally a top linebacker in this league a year ago. People should take notice of that. But Kiko Alonso, the person I compared him to, James Laurinaitis. As us Saints fans know that he did not have the best career as a Saint, but when he was on the Rams, he was a thumper. He was a good coverage guy, and this man would stuff people in the run. That's a good comparison for me. Next up, we have Kaden Elliss. Kaden Elliss is a guy I'm looking forward to see this year, as he should get a good amount of snaps this year. As Kaden Elliss, I compared him to Paul Warlow, who was a solid linebacker back then. He was a good coverage guy, a guy who made plays, a good tackler. That can be a better comparison for Kaden Elliss right now. But knowing that Nigel Bradham is cut right now, Nigel Bradham is cut right now as I'm making this video. I mean, I made this video, but Nigel Bradham, I compare him to Levante David. As Levante David's a sideline linebacker. He's a poor man's Levante David. That's what I'm saying. He's a sideline linebacker, a hard hitter, basically. Yeah. But yeah. Next we have Zach Bond. Is that ironic? We have Zach Bond right next to Nigel Bradham, and I compared him to T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt is the best comparison I can compare the former Wisconsin Badger T.J. Watt, who was a guy who can make plays. He's going to make some turnovers. He just causes havoc on the defensive end. But yeah, let's get on to the next. Next, I have Chase Hansen. I compared him to Sue Von Cravens. They're both abilities to play the linebacker position and the safety position. That's very versatile. Next, I have Andrew Dowell. Andrew Dowell can play the safety position too, but he's a good coverage guy, so I compare him to Miles Jack. They're both good tacklers, both good coverage guys. Yeah, and next we have Anthony Chiquillo. Chiquillo I compared to Matt Longgrace, two guys who can pass rush and play the linebacker position, two guys on special teams. But next I have Craig Robinson, who I compared to Manti Te'o, two guys who had a good start but then fell down to the special team spot. But y'all let me know. Let's go to the next.
I'm about to show you how I move it though. You get the memo.
The first new addition to the series. I'm gonna start doing traits for these. But basically, like Chase Hansen, his strengths is his versatility, his range, and his negatives is his blocking. But let's get on to the next. For Joe Bachie, his positives is tackling, his gap shooting, his good IQ, and his negatives is his coverage. Next we have Kiko Alonso. His positives is tackling, his gap shooting, his play recognition, and his range, and his negatives is his injury. Hope he can stay healthy, man. Next we have Kaden Elliss. Kaden Elliss, positives is tackling, range, and versatility, and his negatives is injury. Next we have the no longer Saint Nigel Bradham. His positives is tackling, his range, and his negatives is injury, man. Hope he can find a job, dog. Next, I have Zach Bond, which is not ironic, I'm telling you. But anyways, his positives is his pass rushing, his versatility, his high IQ, and his negatives is his technique. You got to work on that technique. But for the positives and negatives, to Craig Robinson is his tackling, and his liability and coverage, that's his negatives. Next, we have Anthony Chiquillo, which his positives, he has solid pass rushing, his versatility, and his liability on coverage and pursuing tackles. Next to last, we have Andrew Dowell, his coverage and his versatility, and his negatives, I don't really know because this is the first time I'm hearing about it. But who would you have as the third? Honestly, Zach Bond is looking like he's going to be the third, but y'all let me know. It's me, your boy Smokers YT, and we out here. Chee!
Cut me some diamonds, I'ma just wanna deliver this. I got a boss, she be missing it. I love you, ocean, I swim in it. Slaughter you black and we been in it. Whoop out the fire, we whipping it. All of my brothers be whipping it. All of my brothers be whipping it. I'm finna kiss me a vibe, yeah, yeah. You can just stay for the night, yeah, yeah. I buy you something tonight, yeah, yeah. She got my voice in my tongue, yeah, yeah. Why you be wasting my time?